What is up, guys? SnoShoe here. Welcome to the results of the SnoMadness contest. Now, first of all, you guys can probably tell audio quality is not very good, and video editing quality is not very good either. I apologize. I am on the go, so I'm using my laptop mic. Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing. I don't know. This is the first time I've done this in a long time. And I'm using iMovie to edit, so nothing fancy here, just a little bit of information for you guys that have entered the SnoMadness contest to win a Steam game of $60 or less. This is going to be awesome, guys, let me tell you. I've got the results ready. I want to show them to you right now, but first a little bit. You guys can see on the screen right now, these are the rules. You guys have seen them all. Go ahead and pause it and read them if you want to again, but I'm going to assume you guys have already read them. You know exactly what this contest is. So let's get right to it. Here's how I picked the teams and how I chose who was going to get what team. Basically, I want to make it as random as possible so that I had zero hand in it at all. And you guys, I think, will see that pretty obviously here. Now, one thing that you guys have asked about, I know I told you I was going to have these results up by, I think I said the 17th. There's a little bit of confusion on my part and also some stupidity on the tournament's part. They've added in 4 extra games at the beginning of the tournament to basically, these 4 games they're just for money reasons, so they can have some games to put on TV and earn some extra money that way. But they now call that the first round, even though it's not really the first round. A lot of confusion, but the real first round starts Thursday, March 20th, which is hopefully the day you guys are watching this. So for that reason, I wanted to make sure I had the correct teams in here. Now, as we look at this picture here, you can tell, let's see, a couple of the teams, Tennessee, number 11, if you look over there, that's one of the teams that played on, I think they played on Wednesday, so they won a game to actually get into the tournament. So it was kind of part of the tournament, but I don't know, it's a publicity stunt type thing that the NCAA does. Kind of drives me nuts. Alright, so let's get started. Here's some organization. I've divided the set of 64 teams up into 4 flights. Now, basically, everybody who's entered the contest, all 18 of you, are going to get 3 teams, one from Flight 1, Flight 2, and Flight 3, and 10 of you are going to get a Flight 4 team. Now, I'll tell you, if your Flight 4 team wins a game, I'll be impressed. They're not very good teams, so if you guys didn't get a Flight 4 team, it's no big deal. But if you did get one, then hopefully you can cheer for them to pull an upset. Alright, so let's get into it. You guys can tell that I've organized the teams based on seed. Now, there are certain teams, like Florida is the number 1 team overall in the tournament, but I didn't really organize them in any way. Just besides, I'm going to assume all number 1s are equal, all number 2s are equal for that matter. So what I did then was like I said, I organized all of this, and then I also organized the 18 of you who entered the contest. You guys can see your names here. So we went to random.org, scroll down, this is just the homepage, random.org. You can find the list randomizer, something that's really going to help us out here to make sure that I had no hand in anything. So what we did was we pasted the Flight 1 teams. This right here is all of the Flight 1 teams that you just saw on that Excel spreadsheet. Went down and randomized them, which is what we're going to do now-ish. And it spits out a list. Now I did the same thing with the Flight 2 teams, which is right here. And we're going to go ahead and go through these. This is really, really a simple way to kind of organize everything for me. Make sure I have literally no idea what's going on. No favorites, no biases or anything. So I did that for all 4 flights, and then I also did it for the list of you guys who entered the contest. So you can see your names right there. There's all 18 of you did the exact same thing. Click the randomize button here, and there we go. So from the 5 lists that you guys just saw, those are the results. Now I organized those, and once I show this table right here, you guys are going to get to see what your teams are. So you ready? Drum roll. Boom! There you go. Check it out. These are your teams that you are going to cheer for. Now, you can tell if you go across, your name is on the left, and all of your teams, if you have 3 or 4 teams, those are the names right across from your name. The teams are across from your name, and their seeds are right next to them. So if you look at Baggy Boy, he's got Virginia, Massachusetts, Stephen F. Austin, and Mercer. Now, your Flight 3 teams and Flight 4 are probably not going to win the championship, but Flight 1, definitely, I would say the winner is probably 95% going to come from Flight 1. Flight 2, oh, maybe even higher than that. Maybe a Flight 2 team, maybe one of the higher 5 or 6 seeds can sneak up in there and do something, but most likely it's going to come from a Flight 1 team. So if you guys have anywhere from 1 through 5 seed, which you all do, it's Flight 1 team, you've got a pretty darn good chance of winning your Steam game winning the tournament. This is going to be so much fun. So I wanted to give you guys just kind of a quick backstory on all of your teams, just real fast. So we'll start off with Baggy Boy, Virginia. Very good team, very staunchly defensive team. They've been up near the top of the rankings all season. Very, very good team. Matt aka Slash, Michigan State. Kind of a on and off team all season. Big Ten, I think they won the Big Ten tournament. Yeah, they did. And Michigan State is actually President Obama's pick to win the championship, which is interesting. Gratified has VCU as his top pick. Like I said, I'm only going through the flight ones, just to kind of give you guys an idea of what your best chances are. But VCU is a good team. They've, for the past, I think, 4 years or so, they've had really good showings in the tournament, so maybe they can do something. I can't remember. I think they have a pretty good road, have a good chance of doing some stuff in the tournament. Number 2 it has San Diego State. Now, I know San Diego State has a good road. They may have to play Arizona, who's a good team. But if they can beat Arizona, they've got a good chance to get into the Final Four. So look out for them. And if they get in the Final Four, man, they're a good team. They may be able to win the whole darn thing. Next up is O'Brien's with Florida. Florida, like I said, is the number 1 seed in the entire tournament. O'Brien's 1840 has the, according to the experts, best chance of winning the whole thing, which is going to be interesting. Florida has won 26 games in a row. They're the first team to go, I think it is 18-0 in their conference. First team ever to do that, mostly because they have more teams in their conference. Nobody's ever actually had to play 18 games in a season in their conference. But anyway, really, really cool. Daughter has Cincinnati. I think they're the lowest in the Flight 1. Sorry, Daughter, the lowest ranked team in Flight 1. Cincinnati is definitely a basketball school. They've got some good tournament experience, so maybe they can make some noise in the tournament. I wouldn't hold my breath if they're going to win, but it's okay. It's just Daughter. Just kidding. Next up, I am Panda LP has Michigan. Michigan is a great basketball school, always has been. Won the Big Ten tournament, not the tournament, they won the Big Ten title, best record in the Big Ten. Very, very good school, has a very, very good chance to win the title in my opinion. Next up is Creighton. You guys may have never heard of Creighton. Creighton is pretty much all they do is play basketball there. I don't even know what else you do at Creighton, but they do have the number 1, probably, I would say probably number 2 player in the entire nation, scoring 27 points per game. Right now, he is number 5 all-time on the scoring list, all-time scoring list. So if he scores, I think it's 61 points or something like that, he'll move up to the number 4 best scorer of all time in history. It's crazy. This guy is so good. His name's Doug McDermott. Look it up. Next up is Arctic Does Minecraft with UCLA. UCLA is historically the best basketball school ever. I think they have the longest winning streak ever. And I think they have won the most tournaments ever also. They had a great coach by the name of John Wooden. Doesn't really have to do anything with this team, but they do have a huge history. Played really well all season. Definitely a solid team. May have a pretty good chance to make it to the Final Four. I don't know if they can win it, though. We'll see. Next up, A Million Monkeys has Iowa State. Iowa State was one of the hottest teams in the country, one of the last teams to remain undefeated at the beginning of the season. Kind of had some ups and downs throughout the rest of the season, but ended up with a number 3 seed, and they won the Big 12 tournament, I believe. So they're definitely on a hot streak right now. Look out for them. I don't know, I'd put my money that they're going to make it to the Final Four. They may have a tough road, though. I can't really remember. You guys will see it in a second. Next up, Piotr, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name. Piotr Majner, something like that. I butchered that. I'm sorry. He has Syracuse, a great basketball school. Syracuse historically has always been a great basketball school. They were also one of the teams that had a really good start to the season, but kind of petered off a little bit towards the end, but they're definitely going to want to make some noise in the tournament. Should be exciting to watch. They're always a good team to watch. Next up, speaking of good teams to watch, Ollie Likes Minecraft has Duke. Definitely probably top 2, top 3 best basketball history schools in the nation. Duke was my original pick to win the tournament from the very beginning, so they'll definitely make it far, I think. They usually don't go out pretty easy. Next, with probably the most interesting team on this list, is Drew Son of the 43 with Wichita State. Wichita State is a small school out of Kansas who has not lost a game all season, which is why they have a number 1 next to their name, because they have the best record. They apparently weren't the number 1 team in the entire tournament, even though they haven't lost a game. But since they're a small school, they don't get the amount of respect other teams do. But It's definitely going to be interesting to see if they make some noise in the tournament. They've had a pretty good couple of years also. I know last year, I think they made it to the Final Four, and I think they did something the year before that too. But a lot of people are picking them to go pretty darn far in this thing. Next up, Sock Monkey has Villanova. I don't know anything about Villanova this season. I know that Villanova is traditionally a really good basketball school, and the fact that they're ranked number 2 must mean they're pretty good. I don't know, you can look it up yourself. I'm trying to tell you about your team, but I honestly don't know very much about Villanova this season. I know that they have historically been very good. Next up, 15 CT Chris with Wisconsin, another team with a really good start to the season, but then they had a stretch of like 6 games where they lost 5 of them. But then they came back and had a pretty good showing at the end of the season, earning the number 2 seed. Very good chance to make it to the Final Four. Next up with Milo Dabas. He's got Louisville, also a really, really great basketball school. Won the tournament last year. Has a very good chance to repeat. A lot of the same players coming back. A lot of tournament experience. One of the best coaches in the entire nation. A lot of people picking them to go pretty far. Sylvan Blood has Arizona. Arizona is a very, very, very dangerous team. Out of the Pac-12, they won, UCLA won the Pac-12 tournament. Arizona won the Pac-12 regular season, I believe. Very good team. I would probably put them pretty close to the championship game, if not as the champions myself. And finally, Bailey Payne's got Kansas as his best team. Kansas has always been a good basketball team. The inventor of basketball came from Kansas, Dr. James Naismith. Little fun fact for you there. But Kansas, always really, really good. Only problem with Kansas this year, though, everybody had picked them to go really far. They've got probably the best player in the nation, number 2 pick in the NBA draft most likely, but they've also got the number 1 pick in the NBA draft who is injured for the first 2 games of the tournament, and he may not be back for the rest of it. So if they can get him back, they're going to be a really, really dangerous team, but who knows? It's going to be interesting, guys. Okay, so with that information, we took from this picture here, we took all of those teams, and I combined those into this spreadsheet here on the Google Doc. This is going to be the new bit.ly/SnoMadness. Check out that link in the description, and I'm going to show you guys how to work it right now. So what I've done is I've taken the NCAA bracket, you can see right here. This is how all of the teams are matched up. So if you guys look at this, if you haven't read a bracket before, just real quick, so this is technically the second round. Based on that confusion I was telling you about, this is really the first round of the tournament, but it's called the second round because those first 4 games are really the first round. I don't know. Give me a break, NCAA. Anyway, so I've put the dates on there too. So this is March 20th and 21st is when the second round is going to start. You can look over here and see the same thing. So how the bracket works is Florida is going to play Albany in the first round. The winner is going to go over here. If Florida wins, we'll type in Florida here. And you can see, then they move on. Say Colorado wins that game, Colorado. And I didn't spell it right, but whatever. And then those 2 teams are going to play each other. So then the winner, say it's Florida again. So that's how it works. And you just continue on until you get to, I'm going to go ahead and delete those while I'm thinking about it, until you get later down in the Elite 8. The Elite 8's when there's only 8 teams left. So it's called the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, the Final 4, and the championship game, finally crowning a champion whenever this team is going to play this team for the national championship, which is actually going to determine who wins the Steam game. It's going to be crazy. But, so you guys can see, there's all 64 teams all matched up against each other, and it's going to be insane. So we will know on April 7th. That'll be the night. I think it's a Monday night normally. And we're going to know who's going to win the Steam game by the end of that night. And it is going to be awesome. So if you look at the tabs down here, this is kind of essential to knowing what exactly you're doing on this spreadsheet. We've got our SnoMadness tab, our NCAA tab, and our team lineups. Our team lineups is what I showed you guys just a second ago, so you can check that out. Make sure you know who your team is. Say my name is Nipper to it. I've got San Diego State, Oklahoma, North Carolina State, and Cal Poly. You can check it out like that. So what I've done here is I have taken that information and notice we've got Florida here. If we line up the spreadsheet perfectly and we click it, you can tell O'Brien's 1840 is going to play Daughter in the first round. Whenever Florida plays, who is it, Albany? Yeah, that's right. So if you look at it, you can kind of scroll down and figure out who owns what team and who you're going to match up against. Now, it kind of stinks because the way we did it randomly, you have this where Arctic Does Minecraft is going to play against himself in the first round, but that's not actually so bad because if you look down here, you've got a million monkeys in this region right here, this quadrant of the bracket. He has all 4 of his teams in there, 1, 2, 3, 4. and so he has a 4 out of 16 chance to make it to the Final Four. Once you make it to the Final Four, anything can happen. So that's actually not a bad thing. I could have balanced it out, but I wanted to make sure that I had no real hand in the randomization. So I think it has its advantages and disadvantages, so you guys can check that out as we go along. And look, Panda is going to play against himself also. I think there's one more. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, so guys, with that, I'm going to let the games begin. This is going to be awesome. Now, just for a little bit of history, I've looked up some stuff about what has happened in the past. If you guys are worried about having bad seeds or whatever, I'll leave this link in the description also. But this is the farthest the seeds have advanced in the tournament. So obviously a number 1 has has won the national championship 1, 2, 3, something like 15 times or something like that. And this is only since 1979, so about 40 years. Wait, that's bad math. About 35 years. So about half the time it's a number 1 seed. Now number 2 seed has won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Number 3 seed has won it a couple times also, 5 times. Number 4 has only won it once, but that's not to say number 4 can't do it again. Number 5 has only made it to the title game. They have never won the championship, which is interesting because the number 6 has won the championship twice. So that's to show you guys that even if you have a number 6, that's 2 teams in the second flight have actually won the championship. So all of you have a legitimate shot. It's all happened before. And you can actually look down here. This is the most interesting thing. I want to see if this is going to happen. A number 16 team has never beaten a number 1 team in the NCAA tournament. So if you guys have one of those 16th ranked seeds, watch those games. See if you can be the one to beat the number 1 for the first time ever since 1979. That's going to be crazy. But I think that's really all I wanted to show you guys. You can check out this link. It's got a lot of interesting stuff if you guys are interested in the stats. I know I really like looking at the stats. But I will go back to the bracket here. Leave it at this, guys. With that, I want to wish you all good luck. This is going to be so intense. It's going to make a lot of really cool matchups. Whenever one team beats another team, they're going to play against a different team, and you guys are going to hopefully have a spirit of competition. You know, give each other a little bit of badgering, friendly competition via Twitter. You can even do it in the YouTube comments of this video or wherever you guys want to. Just get into it. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Watch the games. That's what the whole point of this is, so you guys can watch the games while having a little bit of fun, having somebody to cheer for. But let me know if you guys have any questions. Let me know if I've messed anything up. I've spent a lot of time on this, so I've probably made some mistakes. No problem. If I did, just let me know and I'll fix it. But hopefully you guys have a whole lot of fun. I will be updating this bracket every night until April 7th, and probably even more often than that as I watch games, whatever. I'll probably be updating this. So you guys can always check it, bit.ly/SnoMadness. Check that link out in the description. It'll lead you right to here, and you'll be able to see exactly what I'm seeing. So I think that's all the information. I'm trying to think. I think that's everything you guys need to know to track your progress, to know exactly if you guys are going to win the Steam game, or more importantly, if you are going to be named champion. It's going to be so cool. I can't wait, guys. Like I said, I'm going to be updating you guys as we go along. But until next time, I will see you all later, and have a great day.